well. So I will wrap up there. If that's okay, Stefan. Thank you.
Thank you, Juan, for giving us the other side of the story. And then the third discussant is Silke from GIZ. As you heard in the presentation, GIZ was instrumental in supporting Morocco in its venture to seek accreditation. You have the floor, please.
Yeah, thank you very much for this introduction. I represent GIZ, it's, which most of you probably know, gives technical assistance and does capacity building in the countries, mostly in behalf of our government. And in this case, I represent a project called Climate Finance Readiness, and in short, CF Ready. It works in behalf of our German Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development, BMZ, and was assisting Morocco in this big challenge in this process of accreditation. CF Ready aims on improving the conditions needed to achieve results-oriented, transformational and efficient use of climate financing, and in particular from the GCF. We work in 11 countries in the Caribbean as a region, and Morocco is one of the CF Ready countries. And the way we work is very needs-orientated. Morocco is a country which was already described, very alert to climate change and works with example in a lot of different sectors. It was already in a very advanced stage and a good level of awareness and knowledge was really ready in place when we started working there on this topic. In other countries, CF Ready has to start by providing general climate finance trainings or other awareness-raising measures. In this case, Morocco was already part of the adaptation fund, so the readiness was quite quicker. And even though it took 9 months, I just heard. What are the concrete measures we supported there? First of all, support on identifying and setting up of the NDA structure. Then second, helping to set up the NAP process. And third, the accreditation support for the ADA as national implementing entity. No? Said ADA was eligible to fast-track accreditation because they were already accredited to adaptation fund. So to start with the whole accreditation process, we initially supported the translation of documents from French to English because we really shouldn't underestimate the language barrier in this case. Secondly, we did technical assistance, to assess gaps in the ADA's management structure and to fill them. For example, the environmental and social safeguard policies, to address fraud, complaint procedures, independent investigation. And then thirdly, ADA was supported in reviewing the exchange with the GCF, and we supported ADA to provide documentation and answers required. All this forth and back between the two organizations took a long time to answer all these different requirements. And then after the accreditation, GIZ supported the development of a manual to inform potential executive entities on how to work with ADA as accredited entity, informing about criteria their proposed projects have to fulfill to comply with demands set by the GCF, Morocco, and ADA itself. The vision was to facilitate the communication between ADA and the only national implemented entity currently accredited to the GCF in Morocco and potential executive entities. So in fact, to summarize, we actually accelerated all this process as much as we could. No? And so what are the success factors from our point of view? Well, first of all, we think ADA was very keen on reaching their objective. They were very ambitious and they were steering and advancing the process very actively. They clearly expressed their needs and they had a very close cooperation with our staff and our consultants. So even the tours were established together and the whole process we kind of felt it, we took it together. As there were hardly any accreditation experts as such on the market in that time, GIZ could provide an expert who disposed of all the competence needed to fulfill this task. Knowledge of the GCF, knowledge of Morocco and its institution, landscape and private sector knowledge, project development and project management, and also on organization building. Important was that ADA had this experience already on accreditation on adoption funds, so ADA already had a very good knowledge itself about the process and requirement. Well, so what did we learn? And I put it down here on a slide. The national implemented entity candidate has to be really actively steering the process. It can't be someone else. It has to be the country itself. And development of required policies and their integration into management procedures is in itself really a capacity building exercise for the national implemented entities. Can't be seen as something formal, bureaucracy apart. And the national implemented entity and assessments reveal that many NAI candidates have still little idea of how cumbersome the process is. So it might be beneficial if the GCF promoted a cost-benefit analysis for candidates so they could know before what they are going to do. Again, language barrier shouldn't be underestimated. And then, well, following the accreditation, which is really only the first step, the NAI faced the challenge of project development, which is even more challenging, we think. And which is not written here, but I think is also very important, is a very good coordination between all the readiness activities across institution. In the case of Morocco, CF Ready always strive to cooperate closely with the CC focal point, the NDA to the GCF, and also cooperates closely with the 4Cs, a climate change competence center, which was about to be set up when CF Ready started its activities in Morocco. So I think I stop here, but I think this coordination is not to be underestimated. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all of our three discussants on describing how